Okay guys, so this is the second video to your lesson of Chapter 2, Lesson 2. So if you accidentally went to this video first, then go ahead and exit it right now and go back to the first video. The first video is the Prezi video, and then second is the YouTube link, okay? So this is the second one. So in our previous video, we talked about stability and how we compare different ancestors. You know, we look at bones that we find and we compare them to ancestors or living animals, and we find the stability in them. Once we have found the stability, we kind of have like an area of grouping that we can see them in, and that's kind of what we've done with our mystery fossil. So we had 3 different groups. We had crocodiles, whales, and wolves, and then we found we found those 3 areas. That was 6. We found your 3 areas with the stability, and then with furthering our evidence, we found more with stability, right? So we found in our mystery fossil that there was a fetus inside of it, which means that it gave live birth. And so with the baby being inside of it, we were able to cancel out that it was related to a crocodile, even though they had a lot of common body structures in their bones. We said, okay, well, now we know that if we were able to see more than just the bones, you know, like the organs and stuff, we would be able to see, well, then maybe there's more stability of it related to the ancestors that are related to the wolves and the whales, right? So that's what we just did in the last video. So now we're going to go over some stuff in Amplify. You guys are going to do some annotating and reading of articles. I have assigned every person in a specific article, and so that is on Google Classroom. Make sure you check out that list. I don't want everyone reading the same article, because then we get bored of reading the same comment over and over and over. And so y'all have different articles. At the end of this video, I will briefly show the list, so if you want to just pause it and look through your class roster, you can do that too. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at my screen. And as you can see, I am in Amplify. You can see that you will have a warm-up, and then you'll have activity 2. So this is your activity 2, and we have our vocab word right there, stability, when something stays mostly the same over time. So here we're going to be talking about annotating. So here's your active reading guidelines. Think carefully about what you read. Pay attention to your own understanding. So when you're reading something and you start, if you notice, wait, I don't understand what this is saying, read it again. Read it a couple times. If you still don't understand what it says, leave a note that says, I'm not quite sure what this is saying, or hey, this doesn't make sense to me, or something. Maybe it leaves you with a different question. Put the question there. As you read, annotate the text to make record of your thinking, highlight challenging words, and add notes to record questions and make connections of your own experience. Examine all visual representations carefully, consider how they go together with the text, and after you read, discuss what you have read with others to help you better understand your text. So that last part we will be doing in Google Classroom, okay? We'll have a discuss in the comments underneath the assignment. Alright, so now right here it's going to say I am going to read about, and there's 3 different ones for you guys to read. Remember, I have already assigned you guys specific articles, so make sure before you start doing your Amplify, you know which article I assigned you. Again, I'll show that list at the end of this video, and it'll also be in Google Classroom. Okay, so where do species come from? Article set, so I'm going to go ahead and click this, and then it pops up here. Alright, so I have speciation. Now this is where it's going to take you guys. Remember, you can click over here, and then you can go to yours, or at the bottom down here, you can also just click next until you get to yours, okay? So let's do this one together. Speciation. Well, first of all, right off the get-go, I see it says speciation, and I have no idea what that means. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this, right? Speciation, write a note. I do not, no, you know what? I'm going to make a question. I'm going to make it a question. What does speciation mean? Question, and then remember I had discussed with you guys before that to use hashtags so that we can find these things later on using this pencil and piece of paper. And so why is it saying that it's not working? Well, apparently, oh, didn't say. According to my computer, speciation is not a word. So when you guys are typing things, just so you know, what does speciation mean? Question and hashtag question. It is a word though. Go ahead and save that. Okay. So now I don't know what title means, but that's alright. I'm going to keep on reading in my article. So the Galapagos Islands are remote islands off the coast of South America. Organisms that made their way to the island become separated from populations on their mainland. Oh, separated from populations. Not sure what that means. How do they get separated? So I'm going to go ahead and highlight. Organisms will made their way to the mainland. So I'm going to make a note. How did they get there? Right? How did all of a sudden they got to the mainland? Alright, so now I'm going to keep on reading. Evolution is not just a thing of the past, it's happening all the time. Alright, evolution, go ahead and read that real fast. We talked about this in yesterday's. The process by which species adapt to environmental changes over very long time. That means new species are still evolving today. So species, this was one of our vocab words, a group of organisms of some kind in one or more populations that do not reproduce with organisms from another group. Oh, so it's kind of like how we said, you know, cats don't have offspring with dogs. Okay. There are many ways in which species can evolve, but one type of evolution occurs when one species is divided into more than one population living in different environments. All right, so let's just recap on population. A group of the same type of organisms living in the same area, and environments, everything living and non-living that surrounds an organism. Okay, so right now, my environment has been my bedroom. I'm sure we're all dying to get out of our environments. So if these populations live in different environments for many, many generations, they may evolve so many differences that they are no longer the same species. So generations, a group of individuals born and living at about the same time. Okay, so in your guys' class, you guys are all 8th graders. And so you guys are all of the same generation. You're born all around the same time. What used to be population... I'm sorry, did I skip a sentence? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Okay. What used to be populations of the same species become populations of different species. Well, so it says... if these populations live in different, how did they end up in different environments? You know, I'm going to go ahead and highlight this. Okay, so I'm just going to put a note here and put, how did the species get separated? Question mark. And I want to be able to find this later in case Mrs. GD asks me. If I had any questions, I'm going to say yes. Yes, I did. and I can find it. Okay, so let me go ahead and save that. All right, well, let's just keep reading because I mean, I understand that sometimes, maybe they wandered too far, but I feel like there would have to be a huge extreme for them to get completely separated to where they start evolving differently. The process of one species evolving into two or more different species is called speciation. Oh, this is the word this is the title. The process by which one population evolves into two or more different species. So, speciation is the process by which one population evolves into two or more different species. You know what? Let's see, what line is this on? This is sentence in, let's see, okay, this is sentence 2 of paragraph 2. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to say, you know what? I have found it, and I'm going to put right here, I'm going to put answer in paragraph 2, sentence 2. Okay? And that way, next time when I'm going over my annotations, I can, remember that I did find the answer. That way, if I say I had this question, but I found the answer, and did you see I put where I found it? I found the paragraph it's in, and then the sentence it was in. So these are for what sentence? So this is sentence 1, and then sentence 2. Okay. So actually, it's in sentence 1. See that? I messed up. So let me go back really fast. And guys, this stuff seems tedious, I know, and I'm sure you guys are thinking I have so much better things to do, but I promise you, in the long run, it pays off, okay? So, the process of one species evolving into two or more different species is called speciation. Speciation often starts when populations are separated by a barrier, which are such as a body of water or mountain range. Oh! There's an answer to another question. Go ahead and highlight this, put a note, and I'm going to put populations get separated by barriers. Let's save this. And then this is actually in sentence 2 right here. So then I'm going to come back up here. And I'm going to edit this, and I'm going to put my answer is in paragraph. Did I spell it? Paragraph, yeah. 2, sentence 2. Perfect. All right, let's keep on reading. After they are separated, the populations don't encounter one another regularly anymore. They become separate populations, and over time they may evolve into different species. To learn more about some populations that were divided into different environments and become different species, choose one of the chapters that follow. Well, those chapters are what I have assigned you, so we're not going to go any further. But I do need to summarize, so I'm just going to go ahead and highlight this last sentence right here. I'm going to make a note. I'm going to put hashtag summary, and I'm going to make a summary about what I just read. Now remember, I told you guys that when you make a summary, you can either, throughout your article, if it is a lengthier article, I do expect you to have more than one summary, right? And then at the very end, you can just put all your summaries together. I don't expect you to have a summary for every paragraph, but if you think 2 paragraphs go together, make a summary. Like if they make sense together, make a summary. If you think that one paragraph is kind of a lone wolf and it wraps up a bunch of stuff in itself, make a summary for just that one specifically. So I'm going to go ahead and make a summary, and let's see. So in this article, what did I read? I read that populations get separated by barriers, and when they get separated, they can evolve differently because their environments. Oops. Did I spell environments wrong? Of course I did. Because their environments are different. And what else? Oh, speciation, right? I learned what speciation is. So speciation is, so the species becoming separated, so the species becoming separated and turning into two different species is called speciation. Alright, so now I'm going to save my summary. Come back up here. And then, okay, so guys, remember you have this little guy right here, the pen and paper, and you can search your hashtags. Okay, hashtag question. There's my questions. Hashtag summary. There's my summary. Remember you can do hashtag discuss or hashtag connection, you know, if you make a connection between things. And so just like I read that, at first I was kind of wondering, we're talking about animals. Why is there a body of water right here? Well, after I read that species get separated because of barriers of bodies of water or mountains, I now realize why there's a giant body of water here. Okay, so that's something that I could have make a note about, right? I can click on this and I can make a note to this is a barrier. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and exit. Remember, you guys can find yours by clicking the 3 dots and 3 lines. And let's see, okay? And so then you guys will come on here, you'll pick which article, and then you'll click next activity. And then you'll come here. This is your discussing your annotations, okay? Remember, we've kind of discussed different hashtags that you can use. I just went over a few right now. And then speciation, here you guys should write this down, the process by which one population evolves into 2 or more different species, because you will be using this on your Foursquare vocab. So make sure you get that done. And sorry, I just yawned, that was rude. And then you guys will finish off by summarizing your annotations right here when it says, rate how successful you were at using active reading skills. I want you to be completely honest. I'm not going to grade you based off of your answer, okay? I want you to be brutally honest, because if you think you did a great job at it, make sure you put that. I use it all the time. If you think, wow, this is really hard, I don't know how to put my thoughts onto this article, and I don't really, when I'm reading it, I don't know how to ask questions, I'm not making connections very well, you could put never, and then that will tell me that it's something that we need to work on. We can take time to do it together. Reading is difficult, and it is something that we can't get away from, okay? Like it's going to be a part of your like no matter what job you have, you're going to have to read. And so it's just how it goes. So we want to make sure that we can make connections and stuff. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys let's see. Maybe I didn't, oh yes, here it is. Okay, so this is your guys's, what articles you'll be reading. So go ahead and pause it if you need to. You see I have you guys based off of your blocks. So you have 8th 1B, 8th 2B, 8th 4B. If you need to pause it, I'm going to start going back down again. Make sure you read your article. And once you get done with Amplified, you're not finished. Because I want to discuss this, okay? Because I'm not making you guys read every single article because I know some of us don't like to read. If you do like to read, you're super awesome. And but if reading's just not for you, I didn't want to make you read all 3 articles, okay? So what I did is I split them up so that you guys will each do one. And then what you will do is after you get done with Amplified and you've read it, you are going to go into Google Classroom. Once you get done with Google Classroom, or once in Google Classroom, you'll go to the assignment. And then underneath the assignment, you will click Comments. We've done this before, so you should be kind of used to this now. In your comments, I want you to write, I want you to tell me, I want you to write, I want you to write a summary about your article. And then I want you to tell me one question or connection that you made from the article. Okay, so if something didn't make sense and you have a question, I want you to put it. Or if you made a connection, and in that, maybe a connection was like what I did. Remember when I said, oh, we talked about environment. And when I saw the vocab, I'm like, oh, my environment has been my bedroom because we've been in quarantine. And so that's something that you could put, like, hey, I made a connection with this word to real life, or I made a connection with the Prezi video that you did. I made a connection all the way to chapter 1, whatever it is, whatever question or connection you have, okay? So when you go into Google Classroom, I want you to tell me your summary, your connection, or a question. So you only have to have 2 things, okay? Just a summary and your connection or a question. You don't have to, if you have both, if you have a question and a connection, that's awesome. You can put both, but you're only required to put one. Okay guys, so go ahead and exit this video, and then you're going to go ahead and get into Amplified, and then don't forget to leave your comment in Classroom. Alright, I hope you guys are staying safe, healthy, and not going stir crazy in your houses. Have a great day, guys.